Hello, welcome to class 25 of the ArchiCad 23 online course. We start here the section 7. In this class, you're going to learn about ArchiCad libraries. You can open the available file in this class, Orlando House class 25 start, or you can continue in your own file. In our project, we already have used some objects from library, especially doors and windows. These are parametric objects, also called of GDL objects, and these GDL objects generally are GSM extension files. These objects from ArchiCad library that were used here, as I explained before, are searched from a folder in the ArchiCad local installation on Graphisoft folder. You need to remind that if you move the library folder to another place in your computer, the library will be missing. Its objects will be missing. So another important thing to preserve your objects to be seen in any computer, in any version of the program, is saving a PLA file. PLA files save all objects used from libraries inside your project. Then it can be used as a sort of backup file to keep your objects, but you need to be conscious it is also bigger in memory size. So, speaking again about our library manager, go to File, Libraries and Objects, Library Manager. Here we have Embedded Library, and clicking on this tab, you can see some GSM objects, the custom doors we have created, door leaf, JPEG image to use on surfaces, and the truss we have used on the roof. These objects of the embedded library always will be inside the file, they will never be missing. And also we have ArchiCad Library 23, which is a linked library. So it is a folder read from C program files, Graphisoft. So if it is lacking to you, you can add and search on your local installation, C program files, Graphisoft, ArchiCad 23. And you can add this ArchiCad library. If you open a file from a previous version and objects are missing, you must add ArchiCad migration libraries. For example, opening a file from ArchiCad 21, you should enter this folder and choose ArchiCad 21 migration library. You see here. So, if you click, he will substitute missing objects. And if you don't know exactly what is the version, you can select the entire folder, ArchiCad Migration Libraries. You can click on Reload and Apply. But here, I'm just showing how to do, so I will erase and keep the same libraries I had before. Now speaking a little more about ArchiCad library, using Object tool, entering in Settings, you can see Linked Libraries, ArchiCad Library 23. I will take a fast look on objects, highlighting some specific objects. Starting here in Furnishing, we have appliances with some kitchen equipments like blender, cooktop, hood, and some objects have many design types like hood. You can see on 3D preview. And we always have 2D representation where you can choose pens, and They are all parametric objects, which you can change dimensions and materials. After, we have bathroom accessories, beds, cabinets and shelves, where you can define, for example, the number of rows and columns. Chair types, including some famous ones like Barcelona chair by Mies van der Rohe. Couches and sofas. In this sofa set, for example, you can choose models to set your own sofa design. Decoration and interesting object here is this 3D text that you can use on a facade composition. In furniture layouts, this audience seating is a very cool object to make auditoriums and arenas. You can choose the layout type here, straight or curved. Calculation method by number of seats or by area. Seat arrangement. Number of rows, I'll put 10. Number of seats in one row, I'll put 12. Distance between rows, 1 meter. Rise between rows, it can be step height or slope. In the first one, I will define a height of 10 centimeters. In seat settings, there are much more options to adjust. In 2D representation, I'll change at least the contour pen to a black pen. We have surfaces. I can change the 3D aspect. I'll put red paint to all. And frame leg I'll keep metal. So I can choose the layer, I'll keep in furniture. Okay, I will insert here. And you can see in 3D and on floor plan. It is an easy and fast way to create a great number of public seats. Proceeding in the library, after we have health and recreation, kitchen cabinets, kitchen furniture, medical, office, retail, school, tables. In Windows, as a matter of fact, we have some skylight options. Windows and doors folders are displayed just when I use window and door tools. 1.4 Building Structures. It's a folder of structural elements that I had already shown in a previous class. In Special Constructions, we have accessory elements, basic shapes, fireplaces, and others. In Mechanical, we have elevators and escalators, other mechanical equipments, but also we have plumbing fixtures, including bathroom objects. 1.7 2D elements. There are some symbols to use in floor plan and elevation. In the folder 2, there are site improvements like garden, park and street objects, and sport. And to end, we have people and vehicles. So, these are the objects of the ArchiCad library. But also you have the option to use objects from the internet. On Graphisoft website, you can find a list of websites where you can download GDL objects. I will show one of my favorites, which is archibaseplanet.com. Up here on the menus, you must click 3D models. Below you see thousands of objects, and in category, you can filter elements by the type you are searching. You can select any category and click on filter. For example, ships and vessels. I'll select aircraft and space, filter. Here you can find airplanes, helicopters, drones, and other things. I'll choose an airplane. An important thing in this website is to verify the file extensions available to download. In this case, we have GSM and 3ds extensions, but some objects are available just for 3ds, and we need a GSM extension to apply the object on ArchiCAD. Click download, and you will get a zip compression. After the download, I'll move the zip to a folder I have created, airplane. Click with mouse right button and extract files here. I can erase the zip and the 3D Studio file. Now I need to place this airplane folder inside my project. Go to File, Libraries and Objects, Library Manager, click Add, and I will search on my computer the airplane folder. Select the folder and choose. OK. Now I go to Object 2, and beyond ArchiCAD library, I have another linked library, airplane folder. Selecting the plane, you can click OK to insert the object. First, to see that it is an inappropriate scale for a plane. Selecting the object, enter in Settings, turn on the padlock to change dimensions proportionally. I'll type something like 30 meters. In 3D, you realize that objects downloaded from Archibase Planet generally will show black or gray surfaces. Some objects really have a defect, but the most of them can be adjusted like this. Selecting again. In Settings, each part of the object is displayed with a code. So you need to mark the box and choose the surface. So you can apply and check in 3D to know each part of this object. You see the wheels were changed. Making tests until finish. So you need to check each part using these codes. Apply materials. You see. Okay, this was the class about libraries. Wait for you in the next class. We will make a part of the house's kitchen using objects of the ArchiCAD library. I could also use slab and wall tools to model cabinets and counters. but if the library objects can attend your intentions, it's better to use them. Go to ground floor. Here I will just reposition this section line. In my DWG reference, I don't have these kitchen elements, but it's even better learn it without references. So I'm gonna use line tool to draw some guidelines. I'll draw a line here, holding Shift key, another line here, Control Shift D to copy, I press D to enter in distance, 60 centimeters. I'll do the same at the other side, so I'll copy. I'll put a distance of 120 to each side. So I will drag a copy with 120. I'll have an island in one of the sides. So I'll have a higher counter with stools. So I'll put an offset of 30 centimeters here. And here I'll place refrigerators. I'll drag 1 in 50. And I can use trim. First here I will stretch the line, and I can use trim command holding Control key. The scissor appears, and I can trim some lines. First, I need to do a line here. I will turn off the reference, and pressing Control, I can trim some lines. After I can erase these lines, it's just a reference for modeling. Now I will select Object Tool. In Setting, go into ArchiCad Library on Furnishing folder. We'll select Kitchen Cabinets. You see many types. I'll choose Cabinet base triple door. Here at the right, you see Object Settings. Starting here in Cabinet, counter height will be 90 centimeters. Thickness, I'll put 2 centimeters. The backsplash height is going to be 20 centimeters. Toe height, 10 centimeters. The reveal to cabinet door is 7. And cabinet door thickness I'll keep with 2 centimeters. Here we can set the size to counter or cabinet. I'll keep counter. Depth in this case is 70 centimeters. And width I can even define in floor plan after inserting the object. Number of shelves. Toe, I'll change to 3D preview. So here I can see it better. And I can see the options with or without toe. Full, circle, or rectangular. I'll keep full. And after we have surface materials, I'm going to use a brown paint, but for a while I'm going to use this paint golden ochre. And I'll put it to cabinet and black stone to the toe. So here I'll apply stone marble black. The next menu is counter. I'll put marble black to counter and backsplash 2. In countertop overhangs, I'll put 2 centimeters at the front. I have some sink options. I want a double type. In distance from center, you could type a value to displace the sink, 10 centimeters for example. It moves to the right. And if I put -10, it goes to the left. Under mount, you see in 3D, the sink boundaries are hidden under counter. Surface, I'll keep metal. And tap, you can show it or not. So here you can choose a type and a surface. The next option is door. We have some door styles. I'll choose style 1. On surfaces, I will apply the same paint of the cabinet. Paint golden ochre. You have the options to use drawers or not. The number of drawers, you can see it on elevation as well. So here I'll put 3 drawers and 15 centimeters to drawer height. We have door thickness, opening angle, and going to the next menu, we have knob options. In this case, I won't use it. You can apply double-faced, left, right, or rear. Here, I will mark off double-faced and mark left, right, and rear with panel ending type 1. The next is 2D representation. In 2D detail level, selecting symbolic, you can choose some style. Edge visibility, I'll put lines on both sides. I can change to floor plan preview. Contour pen 108. And white background 126. The next menu is 3D representation and surfaces that we have already adjusted in the previous menus. After, minimal space and a brief of all parameters. Choose the layer, arc for kitchen and bathroom. I'll click OK. Just before coming back to settings, here you have to adjust level to current story, must be 0. I can even rotate the object before inserting it, clicking at the corners, or typing an angle here, 108. We also have the insertion point to define. I will define here. OK, and now I click to insert. After placing the object, I can extract clicking on the pink dots. I also can move the sink with this point. Go to 3D. Here I can check the object. I'll just change these colors here. And panels. Here I change to golden ochre. But even this color I want to change. I will change to another to another color. Go to Options, Element Attributes, Surfaces. Click New. Choosing New from Catalog, you access ArchiCad library. We have many additional materials in Wall Finishes, Paint folder. I'll select Brown. OK. Now it can be applied to my object. Select, go to Settings. I'll put brown paint here on Panels. So here we have paint, brown. Here in Cabinet. And here Door and Drawers. And now we have this new color. On Floor Plan, we have here a higher counter. I'll model with Slab 2. Select Slab 2 in Settings. I'll put on Arc 4 Kitchen and Bathroom layer. Two centimeters of thickness, level 110. Building material stone finish. And surfaces with marble black. Okay, I can model the rectangle. I choose here this option. You can check on 3D. And to make a front finish with stone, we need to use Wall 2. So go into Wall 2. First, I'll change the layer to Arc 4 Kitchen and Bathroom. In Model, I'll change Stone Marble Black. The wall will not be linked. Height of 8 centimeters. Thickness 2 centimeters. And level, base level, 1 meter. I'll change material to stone finish. I'll press OK, and now I can model a sequence of walls. I'll change here the reference line. Now I can select in 2D representation, I will send to back. So click here, send to back. But in 3D, we have this option at the correct level. I could even copy this object to do the other kitchen cabinet. Ctrl-Shift-D to copy. Here I can take out this sink and change counter to 60 centimeters. Here I change depth to 60. I can mirror a copy. Ctrl-Shift-M to mirror. I'll drag to adjust. And adjust the width. If you want to use another cabinet of the library, you can't copy parameters from one to another. So, choosing another type, cabinet-based double door, for example, you should set all information again, unfortunately. So now I will erase 2D lines. I'll make a rectangle with Marquee tool. Select line tool, Ctrl A to select all, and delete. I'll press ESC to quit from Marquee tool. We have the options to put a fridge or a cooktop. Placing a cooktop, for example, you can adjust 2D representation. So here in appliances, I could choose this cooktop. We have 2D representation. Here we have surfaces. I can apply. Adjust the position, and in 3D you can check the level, adjust the level. It's okay. I could place, for example, a hood. So we have many types. I'll choose one. 2D representation again. Here I'll put a transparent background. I'll insert. And I can adjust in 3D, Ctrl D to drag. I can use the wall top to place the object. And now you could change surfaces and other settings to this object. And okay, this was the class about kitchen. Hope you have enjoyed. Until next, bathroom fixtures, furniture, and vegetation using library objects. Go to the first floor. And once more, I'm gonna use line 2 to have some references to model. We're gonna do one of these bathrooms. So here I will select line 2. I will draw a line here. I'll drag 90 centimeters. Here is going to be the shower. I'll draw another line here. And I'll move 40 centimeters. For a while I can turn off the dimension markers. So going here to model view options. In my preliminary design settings, I can turn off markers in door and windows. I could use an object from ArchiCad library. So here in plumbing fixtures, 1.6 plumbing fixtures, we could use some object here in basins. We have this multi-basin counter. We have this shower cabin to do the shower, but I want a custom solution, so I'm gonna use a slab tool to model my counter. So here I'll select slab tool. I will use the eyedropper to copy parameters from slab. Entering in settings, I choose the building material to stone finish, 2 centimeters of thickness, level 80 and 5 centimeters. I will turn on the padlock to put marble Carrara white on all faces. Layer is arc for kitchen and bathroom. And on floor plan and section, I will change the outlines. So here I'll put line pen with 108. Okay. Using rectangular method, model the counter. I can see it on 3D. The best thing is use filter and cut elements in 3D. I will limit the view until the first floor. So now I can see inside the bathroom. I'm gonna do the front finish element using wall tool. I'll change surface to marble white. 2 centimeters of thickness. Here I'll keep 8 centimeters of height. Level I can adjust on 3D. So here I'll put 0. I'll press OK. And here I can draw the walls. So in 3D, I can select these elements, Ctrl D to drag on the axis, and it's done. Now I will insert a wash basin. Here I can send to back. Go into ArchiCad library, have in plumbing fixtures, we have these basins. I choose basin 23. There are some types. I choose rectangular. Top height is going to be 95. I'll set the object height as 18 centimeters. And level is going to be 77 because it is the base level. Therefore, 77 plus 18 equal to 95 centimeters on top. Side dimensions, I'll type 65 by 44. In the next menu, we have tab styles. And we have many styles: single level mixer, two handle mixer, traditional basin pillar tap, sensor faucet, and wall mounted. I'll choose a single mixer. Representation and surfaces. For 2D representation, I'll put contour pen of bathroom and kitchen. White background, 126. And 3D representation, I'll put 3D detail level as full. Okay, I'll make the insertion. Ctrl E to rotate. I'll drag to position the element. In 3D, you can check the element. I'll move 5 centimeters down. And as I want this fixture to be semi-embedded, I'm gonna use solid element operations to cut off the counter entering in the fixture. Go to Design, Solid Element Operations. I'll set the wash basin as operator, slab and wall as target, subtraction with upward extrusion, and execute. It's okay. Going to floor plan, I can erase these lines I have used as reference. Clicking on Object 2 again, I'll choose a WC. So here we have many bowl types. Flush type. You can activate the 3D preview to see it better. So here we have cistern, elevated cistern, in-wall carrier, flashometer. So here I choose one. In representation and surfaces, we need to adjust pans. I'll click OK to insert the object. Rotate. You can adjust the size here. And check in 3D. Now I'm going to do the shower cabin, but unfortunately, in this case, I don't have an object that attends me very well. In ArchiCad library, we have these partitions through large restrooms, and in basins folder, bathtubs, showers, we have this shower cabin which has many door types, but none of them have the option to make a single panel just at one side. Therefore, I could model this element with wall and column tools, for example, but we have another option that could match to our intentions. Folder 1.1, bathroom accessories, glass panel. I'll change dimensions to 4. Here I'll keep 2.5 and 1.5. In the next menu, 2D representation, contour pen 108, white background 126. OK. Click to insert the object. I need to rotate. Ctrl D to position the element. I can adjust the length to have the same size as counter. I'll drag a copy, Ctrl Shift D. Here I'll put 60 centimeters. I'll make a copy again. And finally, looking in 3D, you see a schematic shower cabin. Now I will insert the shower in the ArchiCad library, folder 1.6, plumbing fixtures, taps and fountains. We have this shower kit. I'll choose style 2. Next is 2D representation, contour pen 108, white fills 126. OK, I'll click to place the object. You can see in 3D. On floor plan, 2D representation for me, it's not good. I like a more simple representation. Entering in settings, selecting the object and entering in settings, I could change to some symbolic representation. Here you see, but also I don't like of none. So here I'll keep. So what I'm gonna do is send to back this element in my view In 3D, it keeps at the same height, no problem. But here I send to back, and I can use line tool, pen 108, to draw a line, and circle tool, including is a good thing to group 2D and 3D elements, because if I move this 2D shower, the real element will move together. Select them and group. So now if I move, 2D and 3D elements move together. Concerning to furniture, there is not much difference. In 3D, I will come back to infinite. So here, for example, going to ground floor, I can insert a sofa. In ArchiCad library, we have these furniture layouts. So we have a sofa layout, for example. You can adjust distance, pens. We have some design types. I will adjust here to furniture, white background. You can insert a roll set like this, or insert individual objects. I could choose a sofa. So here we have couches and sofas. Sofa 23. There are many styles, legs, two-D representation, okay, you can insert the object, create your own composition using these objects. And beyond these objects, you can find on the internet other objects. And now let's take about vegetation. An important thing is that we have two vegetation types. Going to ArchiCad library, folder 2.2, garden. We have some objects with gray background, and these are 2D objects. They appear in 3D, but with flat profile. It has no volume, so it is a flat image. So let's make an example. I will start with 3D object. So here we have this tree model. I'll choose a tree shape. Going to the next menu, I can set width, depth, and height. And up here, I can activate the padlock to keep proportions when change dimensions. So I could change to 90 meters, for example, and dimensions are adjusted. So you can show branches or not. I put here in 3D. Show branches or not. Resolution of trunk, trunk height, trunk diameter in 3D. I'll change to 30 centimeters. Show in 3D. By model view options, full, simplified, schematic, or off. If I put simplified, for example, you see some spheres, and schematic with a single sphere. I'll keep full. And here you have the option shadow to be shown in 3D and in rendering. It's important to note that how much more the trees are detailed, more will be required from our computer capacity. The next menu is crown. If you mark this option, crown type, automatically, he will show the tree more or less detailed according to the distance you type here. I will mark off and show always detailed. Below, density in percentage, I will increase a little bit to 70%. Resolution, diameter of crown sphere parts, I'll put 70. Resolution of leaves, I will decrease diameter of leaves, I will decrease to 40. You see smaller leaves here. And resolution of leaves, how much more resolution, more weight for your computer. In 2D representation, I'll put contour pen 136 green. I'll change here to see floor plan. And fill pen is gonna be transparent. Here in symbol type, you can choose among several types. I'll choose this. Layer, I'll change for 3D vegetation. The layer is closed, but I can activate it. I will press OK. I will insert the object. A message appears to open the layer that was closed. So I'll show layer. Now I can see on 3D, I won't have this big tree here. It's just an example to use this object. And we have the option of 2D vegetation with a flat image. So choosing an object with a gray background. Here you can choose a tree type. In 2D representation, we have top view and symbolic type. Symbol type here to choose according each season. So I'll keep here. The object was selected. I want another object. So we'll select again. I'll put this object here. Inserting the object, you see that it is like a real image being displayed. You can bring it to front. And in 3D, you see this flat image. But also we have the symbolic top view. So I can select this object. You can choose symbolic top view. Choose the pens, transparent, background, and can choose some representation, a symbol type. And you see here, in 3D, we have this difference. You see a flat image, and you can use these two types of tree depending what you need in your project. For example, if you make a project with a large number of trees, like a square or a park, using 2D flat images will let your file much more lighter to work. Otherwise, if you need to see the vegetation volume for aerial views, for example, you should use this 3D vegetation to see the crowns. So in aerial views, you see the volume. And this object, this 3D object with all these branches and leaves, weights much more to rendering. So considering these issues, you can make your choice. Here at Orlando, I have used the vegetation totally on Photoshop to rendering. So I render it on ArchiCAD without vegetation and inserted vegetation on Photoshop. But I have another house where I render it using vegetation objects from ArchiCAD. I will show you the differences. Here, for example, in this aerial view, I applied 3D trees to represent the volume, the crown spheres. But if you make a closer image for these objects, the resolution cannot be very good. So you can see the trunk or branches with sharp edges, like you see here. After I have some renderings using 2D vegetation. Here we have some sketches using 3D vegetation. Here in this section, you see the section is very cool, but vegetation are very bad with this 3D model. And finally, I have this image where in a first moment, looking to the leaves of palm trees, it seems to be very good. But if you pay attention to the trunks, you see that it looks like a flat image and not a real tree. Therefore, these trees of ArchiCAD can be very useful if you don't know other programs. But if you can, it could be better using Photoshop, Twinmotion, Lumion, and other programs. Okay, this was the class about bathroom fixtures, furniture, and vegetation. Hope you have enjoyed.